Imagine waking up in a world where kindness is illegal, where helping someone in need is called sabotage, where compassion is considered a disease, where the cruel rise to power and the ruthless are celebrated as heroes. In this world, people compete to be the most selfish, the most brutal. Promotions go to those who betray co-workers. Awards are given to those who exploit the weak. Children are taught that empathy is a defect. Neighbors spy on each other, friends are temporary alliances. And somewhere, in this cold machine of a society, there exists one person who refuses to follow the rules. A person who secretly helps others, no fame, no reward, only risk. The government calls them the most dangerous criminal alive, but the people they saved call them something else. They call them the last good person. This is their story. The year was 2143. The nation was governed by an organization known as the Merit Authority. Their philosophy was simple: human progress required eliminating weakness. And the greatest weakness of all was kindness. They believed compassion slowed society down, helping others wasted resources. Mercy prevented the strong from rising. So they redesigned civilization, schools rewarded manipulation. Workplaces ranked employees by how efficiently they could outcompete colleagues. Hospitals treated only those who could prove financial productivity. If someone collapsed on the street, people stepped over them, because helping was punishable by law. The crime was called altruistic interference, first offense, social demotion. Second offense, labor reprogramming, third offense, disappearance. For years, the system worked perfectly, until strange things started happening. A hungry child would suddenly find food left by their door. A laid-off worker would discover an anonymous payment clearing their debts. Medicine appeared in places where hospitals had refused patients. No cameras ever captured the person responsible. But the effect spread quietly, like sunlight through cracks in a prison wall. At first, people thought it was a glitch. Then they thought it was a group. But eventually the rumors became something stranger. It was just one person, a ghost moving through the city. People began whispering about them in secret. Subway riders spoke quietly. Factory workers exchanged coded phrases. They helped my sister. They saved my neighbor. They left food for my kids. No one knew their name. No one knew their face, but everyone had heard of them. The government noticed too. The Merit Authority called an emergency session. In a room of black glass and steel, the nation's leaders watched surveillance footage. Clips of kindness, food left outside doors, blankets given to the homeless, secret repairs to broken public infrastructure. One of the ministers leaned forward. "This is not charity," he said. "This is sedition." Kindness, they argued, was contagious. If people remembered what empathy felt like, the entire system could collapse. So the authority declared a national manhunt. They created a new criminal classification, Code Black, the altruist. The penalty was immediate termination. Every surveillance drone, every data network, every police unit began searching for one person. The person they were hunting was named Mara Vale, and she wasn't extraordinary. She worked a low-level job repairing delivery drones. She lived in a small grey apartment with cracked walls. She owned 2 pairs of clothes. Most people passed her on the street without even noticing. But Mara carried something the world had tried to erase: memory. When she was a child, before the Merit Authority took total control, her mother had once told her something. Kindness isn't weakness, her mother had said. It's courage. Her mother was arrested 2 years later for helping injured protesters. Mara never saw her again, but the lesson stayed. For years Mara lived quietly, following the rules, keeping her head down, until one night she saw a boy digging through garbage behind her building. He looked maybe 10 years old. Thin, cold, hungry. The law said, ignore him. The cameras said, walk away. The system said, weakness deserves extinction. But Mara heard her mother's voice. Kindness is courage, so she broke the law. She gave the boy food, and that single act changed everything. Helping the boy felt terrifying. Every step home Mara expected sirens, but none came. So a few days later, she helped again, then again, and again. At first, it was small things. Fixing a neighbor's broken heater. Leaving medicine for an old woman. But something strange happened. The people she helped didn't just survive, they started helping others too. The boy she fed began sharing food with another child. Kindness began spreading, quiet, invisible, but unstoppable. The Merit Authority assigned their best investigator, Commander Adrian Cade. Cade was famous for dismantling resistance networks. He believed completely in the system. He reviewed thousands of cases, and patterns emerged. Locations, timing, supply chains, but something confused him. The acts of kindness were inefficient, financially illogical, strategically pointless. Why would someone risk death for strangers? Still, he kept digging. Until one night, surveillance caught something. A woman leaving a package outside an apartment door. Her face was partially hidden, but the algorithm identified her. Mara Vale. Cade smiled. The hunt was over, or so he thought. They didn't arrest Mara immediately. Instead, they watched, wanting to expose the full network. Except there was no network, just Mara. Every night, she moved through the city, fixing things, delivering supplies, helping strangers, always alone. Cade observed her through surveillance feeds. At first, he felt disgust, then confusion, then something unexpected, respect. She knew she was risking death, yet she kept going. Eventually, the authority ordered immediate capture. A trap was prepared. One night, Mara approached a building where a sick child lived, medicine in hand. The moment she reached the door, drones surrounded her, floodlights turned night into day. Police vehicles blocked every exit. Commander Cade stepped forward. "Congratulations," he said. "You're officially the most dangerous criminal in the nation." Mara looked around calmly. "Did the child get the medicine?" she asked. Cade paused. "Yes." "Good." That answer unsettled him more than anything. The trial was broadcast nationwide. The government wanted to make an example of her. The courtroom was massive, cold, filled with cameras. The prosecutor listed her crimes: unauthorized aid, resource redistribution, systemic disruption, emotional contamination. Finally, the judge asked her one question: "Why did you do it?" Mara thought for a moment, then answered simply, "Because people needed help." The courtroom erupted with laughter. To them, the idea was absurd, but something strange happened across the country. People watching the broadcast didn't laugh, because many of them had been helped, and suddenly, the legend had a face. The judge announced the sentence: execution, public, immediate. But before the guards could remove her, Commander Cade spoke. Permission to question the prisoner privately, the judge allowed it. In a small interrogation room, Cade sat across from Mara. He studied her. "You could have lived a safe life," he said. "Why throw it away?" Mara smiled slightly. "I didn't throw it away," she said. "I used it." Cade frowned. "You changed nothing." "The system still stands." "Maybe," she replied. "But how many people helped someone today because of me?" Cade had no answer. For the first time in his career, doubt entered his mind. The execution was scheduled for the next morning. The government expected it to end the problem. Instead, it ignited something. Across the city, small acts began appearing everywhere. Food left for strangers, doors held open, workers covering shifts for sick colleagues. People helping each other, thousands of tiny, illegal kindnesses. The police couldn't stop them all. The system was designed to punish individuals, not everyone at once. Commander Cade watched the reports flooding in. He realized something terrifying for the government. Mara had already won. Morning arrived. The execution platform stood in the central square. Crowds gathered, but something was different. The people were quiet, not cheering, watching. Mara stood calmly beside the execution device. The judge began reading the final order. Then, something unexpected happened. A woman in the crowd stepped forward. "I brought food for the homeless last night," she said. "That makes me guilty." Another voice spoke up. "I helped my co-worker pay rent." Another. "I repaired my neighbor's doors soon." Dozens spoke, then hundreds, then thousands. Commander Cade stepped onto the platform. He turned to the judge. "If kindness is treason," he said, "then half this city is guilty." The square fell silent. The system had encountered something it could not process: solidarity. History would later describe that moment as the kindness uprising. The execution never happened. The government couldn't arrest everyone. And the idea that kindness was weakness began to collapse. It didn't happen overnight, but something had changed forever. All because one ordinary person decided to help a hungry child. Mara Vale was never officially declared innocent. But people stopped calling her a criminal, they called her a reminder, a symbol. Proof that even in the darkest systems, humanity can survive. Because sometimes, it only takes one person to start a revolution. Not with violence, not with power, but with something far more dangerous, kindness. And that is the story of the last good person. Thanks for watching. If this story moved you, consider sharing it to spread the message. And don't forget to subscribe for more stories that make you think. See you next time.